On Acoustic Tuesday, episode number 47, Noah and I take a U-turn. You're going to learn about an American primitive guitarist and two premier capos go yoke to yoke in an epic capo battle. All that and more right after this. If you believe that playing acoustic guitar is about sharing the joy of music with friends and family, not just mastering the technical side of playing, then this show is your dream come true. Every Tuesday morning, I give you my list of exciting guitar geek discoveries, gear, and new music so you can stay inspired to live your best acoustic life. I'm Tony Polecastro, and this is the Acoustic Tuesday Show. Guitar geeks, unite. Welcome to Acoustic Tuesday, episode number 47. This is the show where you're going to learn about acoustic guitar gear, discover acoustic artists, and get inspired to live your very best and very boldest acoustic life. As with all episodes of Acoustic Tuesday, I'm going to share with you my guitar geek list for the week. These are things that need to be on your guitar geek radar. But before we dive into that guitar geek list for this week, we've got a little bit of an Acoustic Tuesday tradition we have to tend to, and that of course is Guitar Geek Trivia. Here is your Guitar Geek Trivia question. Which Mississippi Delta blues musician was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the year 1986? Was it A, Lightnin' Hopkins, B, David Honeyboy Edwards, C, Robert Johnson, or D, Son House? Go ahead and ponder that, and at the end of the show, I'll be sure to give you the answer. Now, of course, joining me today on Acoustic Tuesday, no Acoustic Tuesday would be complete without, of course, Sir Noah Jacob Heckman Jr. the first. Noah, cheers to you and good morning, sir.
Tony, cheers to you as well.
I am happy you're here today because judging by my start, the words aren't flowing freely for me. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to help me with just conveying messages today.
Well, I sure hope so.
Maybe acting as a translator of sorts.
Yeah, I will gladly do so. And I'm kind of pumped about today because one of our items we got into a discussion about. And when you can draw me into a guitar geeky discussion,
yeah,
I feel like I'm on the road to be in one.
It's true. Well, it's true because last night I went to bed thinking about capos. And this morning I came into the studio and I was telling Noah about how I couldn't really get to sleep because I was thinking about capos and how best to present them. And then we went and got coffee, and we were talking about capos in the line, and then we came back to the studio, we were rehearsing for the show, we were still talking about capos, so I'm pretty sure Noah is on the precipice of jumping into guitar geekiness. Is that accurate, do you feel?
Yeah, I hope that's accurate.
Now real quick, for all of you Acoustic Tuesday viewers out there, I would love for you at some point during today's episode to try and say Mississippi Delta blues musician 4 times or 5 times fast. I have failed on the first time, so just try your best as we go through the items. And speaking of items, let's just kick things off, shall we, Noah?
Let's do it.
The first item is one for music appreciators, guitar geeks, music geeks, just music lovers in general. Now, let me just first kick things off by saying I got into vinyl records because of my dad. When I was getting into music, really getting into music, think high school, college, lo and behold, my dad had an enormous amount of records in the crawl space. So one afternoon, against my mom's judgment, we dug out the crawl space, took out all the albums, and I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of albums, plugged in the turntable, got everything all fired up, and we spent the whole afternoon listening to records. Now, this was a formative moment for me because it's when I fell in love with the whole entire experience of listening to a record on vinyl. It's just it's an amazing experience because first you've got the album itself, right? You got the full jacket, all the art. It's big. You can hold it. It just feels substantial. You can look at the liner notes. You pull out the album. It's also substantial. You place it on the platter. You lower the needle, and that magic crackle and pop sound happens. And you just sit with the album. A lot of times it's a gatefold, and you can read the whole thing while the album's playing. It's an all-around amazing experience. But as I grew older, I actually got all my dad's records, which was a huge win. But my brother Nick got the turntable. So thanks, Nick, for that. I had a bunch of records, and I didn't have a turntable to put them on. But I found a killer turntable that I actually want to share with all of you. It is made by U-Turn Audio, and it is the Orbit turntable. Now, these turntables are made and assembled in Woburn, Massachusetts, and I love these turntables for many, many reasons. First of all, the look. they just look sleek and just downright sexy. They really do. And they're totally customizable. I mean, from the color of the base to the kind of platter, you can get acrylic, you can get MDF, to the type of record mat that you put on there, to the type of cartridge, to a built-in preamp. I mean, they're really, truly outstanding record players. And I just have had such a wonderful experience with mine. I wanted to share it with all of you in case you're out there thinking, man, I've got a ton of records. I don't have a turntable. This would be something I would strongly consider. If you go on their site, you can see all the different things you can customize. And really, these turntables start at, you can get a real basic one for $179, and then you can go up to $500–600 and probably well beyond that. But they're really well made, and they sound fantastic. I've just had a wonderful experience with my U-Turn Orbit. I have a white one just like this with an acrylic platter. This is the one we keep here at the studio. I have another one at home that's also white, as I mentioned. But what I love about these turntables is that they're pretty much plug and play. Right out of the box, they are set up with the proper, I don't know all the specifications, but the proper cartridge alignment to make sure that the cartridge actually sits in the groove squarely and you get the best listening experience, to the proper downward pressure of the tone arm. I mean, the whole deal, they set it up so it's really easy to use. And just, I found a video that really kind of shares not only how they're built, but also kind of their philosophy and passion. So I wanted to share that with you all right now, so let's have a look at that video.
I don't spend a minute of my day not listening to music. I work in the kitchen, cleaning, you name it, I need music.
I definitely can't imagine my life without music. It's everything to me.
As music lovers, we pay close attention to the music we listen to, and every detail counts, and we bring that same attention to detail to the way we make turntables.
What's amazing with the Orbit is that you have seasoned audiophiles and first-time vinyl listeners listening to the same turntable and enjoying it for different reasons.
This is not an automated process. Every turntable is built by hand right here in Massachusetts. There's no other way to do it.
The tone arm is such a delicate assembly, the main bearing is such a delicate assembly that trying to make them come together in the exact same way every single time takes a bit of skill.
No one else does what we do, which is making custom turntables, and there's hundreds of options available.
There are over 50 custom parts that go into an Orbit turntable, and everything about that part has to be so precise and perfect. And so we have extensive quality testing to make sure that that's the case.
When you buy a turntable, when you look at the bottom, you'll see a signature. And that signature represents a group of real people that built your turntable.
In a record store, you don't want a turntable that's going to sound mundane. You have to have something that sounds good. U-Turn does that. This thing works in here 8 hours a day, and it doesn't take any breaks.
We know that vinyl collections are deeply personal things, and our hope is that we can do justice to your individual collection.
I just love the vibe of the company. I mean, just by watching that video, you can see that they really take pride in what they do, and it's not just a warehouse where they go and pick your turntable off from one box, put a shipping label on it, and away it goes. I mean, literally, they assemble the turntable as to how you order it. And I just think that's a really cool concept, and I think they do a great job. So if you're out there looking for a turntable, like I said, if you have a bunch of records and you're thinking, you know what, I'd love to get a turntable to listen to these on. I mean, there's obviously a ton of great options out there, but I would strongly consider the U-Turn Audio Orbit turntable. I think it's just a wonderful. It's wonderful looking, and it functions so well. So can't say enough good things about them. So keep doing what you're doing, guys. You're doing great work. Now, Noah, speaking of great work,
yeah,
our viewers have been doing some great work. And I know that you would love to give some shout outs and maybe read some comments from past episodes. So would you mind diving into that, please?
I wouldn't mind at all, Tony. It'd be my pleasure. All right, so comments and shout outs from last week's episode. First one comes from VW Beatles 72 Jelly Bean. Cool.
Good job.
All right.
Now, he sent us a video a while ago from his trip to Chicago Music Exchange.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
So he has to say, good AT47 to y'all from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Awesome. Cheers.
Next shout out goes goes to Viking Padre, AT regular viewer. Greetings from Cleveland, and thanks for featuring Courtney Hartman. I've been a fan of hers since the first Della Mae album. Her melodic playing sets her apart from the usual mile-a-minute bluegrass players. Great stuff.
Very true. Thanks for watching. Great comment, too.
But sometimes you need those mile-a-minute bluegrass players.
Well, it's you got to strike the balance, right?
Yes.
You got to have both
Correct.
ends of the spectrum.
Next one comes from Tony S. He just says, hello from the Texas Gulf Coast.
All right.
And next shout out goes to Thomas C. Good evening from a beautiful, sunny Scotland. I wonder if that's rare, a sunny Scotland.
Yeah, I always picture Scotland kind of like in the mist.
Right.
Very fantastical, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if that's
you.
how you picture it.
Yeah. It's my mind's eye. Next shout out goes to Davey J. He says, thanks for introducing me to Courtney. He says, another great video. Much thanks. And I live in the woods in southern Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
CO, I'm pretty sure is for county. And the last shout out goes to David F., who says, loving the show from Kandahar, Afghanistan.
Very cool.
Yeah. So shout out to all of you.
Man, seriously, Acoustic Tuesday is becoming a worldwide phenomenon.
I know.
I love it.
It's very exciting.
It's very cool. I also want to say that there's been a lot of response to Courtney's feature on Acoustic Tuesday.
Yes.
And I think we should strongly consider her for the Acoustic Life Festival for next year.
Oh, okay.
It's just the wheels are turning, so I wanted to share that with you.
I didn't even think of her.
Oh, man.
But good call.
I really would love for her to be a part of it. But thank you. Are those all the comments you wish to read?
That's it for today,
awesome.
Tony.
Well, thank you for sharing those, Noah. And of course, this is the point of the show where I encourage you to please leave a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you made a new discovery on the show. Let us know if you want us to make a new discovery. In fact, you can leave all of that in the comments below the YouTube video. And if you really want me to check out a piece of gear or an artist, you can actually submit it and be a part of the Acoustic Tuesday show. Just go to acousticlife.tv. In the top menu, you're going to see a submit link. You can submit gear recommendations, artist recommendations, and, of course, a picture of your guitar arsenal, which I would encourage you to do, but more on that here in just a little bit. Noah, while these people are leaving comments, I want to encourage them to subscribe. Can I just take a moment and do a little PSA? Public service announcement.
Would you please?
Okay. While you're leaving comments and things like that, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, I would strongly urge you to do so. It's very easy. Just click that red subscribe button, and don't forget to click the little gray bell. That'll give you a notification of each new video that's released. And of course, if you want Acoustic Tuesday delivered directly to your email, that's an option as well. Click the link right in the description and you will get Acoustic Tuesday delivered via white glove digitally to your email inbox, and you can catch it there. So please do that if you haven't done so already. Now, I do have some mailbag items, the first of which is my new issue of Acoustic Guitar Magazine. And I will say this, the cover does not do the inside material justice. I was looking at this cover and I was thinking to myself, this looks like a railroad map, like in a city.
Yeah.
But and I didn't think it was very exciting. But upon further reading, the material inside is pretty awesome. So I give the cover a C, but I give the material inside an A+. So new issue came in, very, very cool. Also, we got this package just today, right before we started filming, from, I gotta read this. This is very cool. This is from Sean DeBurka. Now, he sent his album, which I thought was super rad, and he sent this really nice letter, and I want to share it if I can. I'll read it fast so as not to take up too much time. He says, Dear Tony, Noah, and Levi, I'm a guitar geek from Tunbridge Wells, Kent, an hour south of London, UK. Firstly, I'm a huge fan of Acoustic Life. I discovered Acoustic Tuesday through Antoine Dufour. I designed the artwork for his recent Back and Forth album and discovered AT when he posted about the episode he was featured in a few months back, episode 25. AT has brought so much new music to me along with a ton of useful products. I mostly work from a desk and I always watch AT when working. The show allows me to feel close to my passion for guitar even when a guitar isn't nearby. I greatly appreciate this show and all that you guys do. And he goes on, he says, I've noticed various mentions of metal bands throughout AT, the Arch Enemy art book, and Noah's appreciation for Arion, so that combined with the nature of the show being acoustic, I really wanted to send one of my albums over to you. encloses a copy of my 2015 album Mechanism. This CD consists of 5 acoustic fingerstyle pieces, 1 guitar with just the effects on my pedal board, overdrive and wah mostly. These 5 tracks are then repeated, and this time I play drums, electric guitar, and bass over the fingerstyle pieces. These tracks came out surprisingly heavy. Head to track 7 through to track 10 for the heavier parts of the album. Double bass drum pedal and percussive fingerstyle goes hand in hand. For the guitar geeks, I'm using a Faith Juniper high gloss guitar, rosewood back and sides, solid spruce top, mahogany neck, flame maple binding, ebony fretboard, bridge tuning and tuning buttons, Diodario phosphor bronze 13s, a groove gear fret wrap used for stopping excess ring behind the nut, and when placed on the fretboard, it's for muting overtones when tapping. And finally, a K&K Trinity pickup pure mini transducer with a condenser mic. I really hope you guys enjoy the CD. As always, looking forward to Tuesday for the next episode. So I want to thank Sean for this. This was just really cool to not only listen to your album this morning as we were getting ready for the show, but I'm glad that you pick up the heavy metal undertones.
I appreciate that. And I have to say, that letter was amazing.
Yeah.
We just listened to it this morning, but you read the letter before me. I didn't read the letter. But now hearing the letter, now I want to go listen again after we're done.
It's a very cool, I would consider it, dare I say, a concept album? Is that? I mean, you're more of the prog rock guy, so I should consult you, Noah. Is that a concept album, like half acoustic, half electric?
Well,
same thing.
It may slightly fall into that category.
Okay.
I personally think there's maybe a little more involved.
Okay.
But maybe it'd be interesting to get his approach.
Okay.
On his thoughts behind making the album.
Absolutely. Well, it's very cool. Like I said, we listened to it, and I want to thank Sean for sending that in. That was really, really kind of you. And of course, also thank you for watching Acoustic Tuesday. Shall we move on?
Let's go.
No, I've got, you're going to have to help me with this. So I'm going to need help with a name here in a second.
Okay. I know what you're going to say.
So let's talk about what I'm listening to this week. This week, I'm listening to an artist that was recommended by an individual named Zorn John or John Zorn.
Correct.
So I'm going to just say John, but if I mixed up the order, please forgive me. The way it comes in on the submission form, I wasn't quite sure which was the first and last. So I'm going to say John, and if that's wrong, just every time I say John, just insert Zorn. Is that fair?
It's fair.
So John is from El Paso, Texas, and he recommends that we listen to Jack Rose. Now, I had been made aware of Jack Rose some time ago by an Acoustic Tuesday viewer named Simone. Simone Merely, I believe. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So kudos to Simone and, of course, John for recommending Jack Rose. Now, at first recommendation, I really dug Jack Rose. And then he kind of just fell off the radar. And then John sent in this submission, and I was like, okay, we're going to listen to Jack Rose this week. And I was so happy that we did, because Jack Rose embodies the American primitive guitar style. I mean, from the acoustic lap slide work that he does, also to his just regular standard guitar compositions. It's very driving music. It's very heavy, kind of traditional fingerstyle music. And what I love about Jack's compositions is that they have this, what I like to call digestible dissonance. It's the dissonance that when it occurs during the song, you love it and you want more of it. It's like the notes aren't supposed to work, but they do work, and it's just beautiful. So I really dug listening to him this week, and I want to thank John for recommending him. Now, I've got a lot of listening examples for us, too, specifically, but one I want to single out is off of Jack Rose's album, Kensington Blues, and the name of the tune is called The Rappahannock River Rag, and I hope I said that right. A lot of pronunciation problems today, so let's have a listen to that right now. That example because I think that particular tune really shows off Jack's American primitive guitar style chops, his finger style chops. I mean, it's ragtimey, it's almost a little drony, and it almost hypnotizes you when you listen to it. So I strongly recommend checking out that full track. Now, Jack unfortunately passed away at the very young age of 38. I just learned that in doing some research for the show. Apparently he had a heart attack at the age of 38, but luckily for us guitar geeks, he left behind just an incredibly vast legacy of recorded works. Now, you can start digging into Jack's stuff and it'll take you days to get through all of it. So I've selected a few albums that I think are highlights, but really, I don't think you can go wrong with any of the albums. So starting up, we've got the Black Dirt Sessions, and then we have Dr. Ragtime and His Pals, and then next up, we've got I Do Play Rock and Roll, and after that, you've actually already heard a sample from this next album, the Kensington Blues album. That one I did the kind of the deepest dive into, and that album, front to back, is outstanding. Again, that's Kensington Blues. And next up, we have Luck in the Valley. And then last but certainly not least, I believe it's pronounced Rog Manifestos. Very cool album artwork on that. So please check out Jack Rose. I think you'll be delighted. And one of the other things I kind of stumbled upon while researching him is a DVD documentary type film that he did with Glenn Jones, who's another fantastic guitar player, fingerstyle guitar player. And the documentary or kind of music DVD is entitled The Things That We Used to Do. And I haven't seen it in its entirety. I just found a trailer, and I actually just wanted to give you guys a real quick sample of them playing a tune together live called Miss May's Place. So let's have a look at that right now.
Miss May's Place, take 5.
Say that I don't think that movie's being reproduced anymore. I found a used one on Amazon. I think it was about 40 bucks. Again, I haven't seen the full one in entirety, but it definitely piqued my curiosity, and it's something I want to check out further. So if I find a copy and I do watch it, of course I'll feature that on a future episode of Acoustic Tuesday, but I wanted you to be aware of it in case you come across it in your Guitar Geek travels. So again, check out Jack Rose, and again, a huge thank you to John Zorn, or Zorn John from El Paso, Texas, for recommending him. Of course, all John did was go to acousticlife.tv, click that submit button in the top menu, and recommended an artist. And sure was glad that he brought up Jack Rose, because it was a treat to listen to, and certainly I would call that a small win. My small win for the week was listening to Jack Rose. Now, Noah, speaking of small wins,
yes, I
know you've got an absolute plethora of them queued up, and we're ready to celebrate. So I think now is the time we celebrate.
Let's do it. All right, and here we go. Our little small win cache, taken from last week's Acoustic Tuesday
Would you
episode.
call it a treasure trove?
I would.
Okay.
It is a treasure trove. Well, I did say cash.
I know. I was trying to go along with your theme there.
Oh, I see.
See what I was doing?
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. So first small win comes from I'm going to assume this is Stephanie.
Okay.
But if not, I suppose it could be Stefane. I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
This is a small win, huge win. Tony and the gang, I'm a newly member of TAC. Love everything you guys do, your philosophies and motivation to play every day. Hashtag FamJam.
Oh, double whammy.
Yeah. I've taken 2 guitars to make one. These 2 guitars separately were unplayable. I took the nut, bridge, and some tuners of a Yamaha F310 that somebody fell on and was given to me after the fact, and I put it on a Yamaha FG420A. Now, this Frankenstein's guitar, that plays great, by the way, I gave to my daughter-in-law, and it has new life.
That's awesome.
That's
a resourceful Guitar Geek moment.
Yeah.
I love it.
And a huge win.
Yeah, thank you.
Next one comes from Caleb H. Small win. Scored a 1980 Guild D25 in the classic brown color.
Cool.
I managed to get it for a fantastic bargain price, and it's inspired a bunch of new writings and some instrumentals I hadn't planned for my next album.
Killer. Go ahead. I think we're going to say the same thing.
Well, okay, let's see. I was going to say that the inspiration that a new guitar like that can inspire.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It's just a magical thing.
It's so cool because, I think there's obviously the long-running joke that guitar geeks can never have enough guitars. But to a non-guitar geek, I don't know if there's that understanding of that X factor when you get a new guitar and what that can conjure up creatively. Mm-hmm. It's a special thing that I think only us guitar geeks really understand. So,
yes, I agree. Okay, and last small win for today. This one comes from Chad M. My 17-year-old son started learning guitar about 4 to 5 months ago, and he actually handed me my guitar this past weekend and said, "Let's play." He taught me Jeff Buckley's version of Hallelujah, and we played it together. So also, hashtag FamJam.
Yeah.
Not only was it awesome to play with my son, but I actually used some of my newly acquired fretboard wizard knowledge for a little transposition.
That's awesome. That's huge.
That is cool.
FamJam, small win, fretboard wizard in there.
I know.
That's like an all-inclusive deal. It's like one of those all-inclusive vacations, but just all-inclusive guitar geekiness.
So, Tony, that's our small wins for this week.
Well, thank you. Can I quickly ask? I just want to make a quick ask of the folks.
Yes.
If you want your small win featured, it's super easy. In the comments below the YouTube video, just put hashtag small win and go ahead and describe your small win. We absolutely love celebrating these during Acoustic Tuesdays because it just helps us with that positive momentum that we all need during our guitar journey. And they're fun because it leads to awesome discussion and, of course, guitar geeks uniting. So please, in the comments, put hashtag small win and go ahead and describe your small win. Go ahead, Noah. Sorry.
Nicely done. Now, we also, last week, we asked that the folks would continue to submit their You're a Guitar Geek wins.
Yes.
And we have more for you this week. True to form, we asked and the people responded.
Always. You guys are the best. It's true.
So I have a few for you today. First one comes from Don. You're a Guitar Geek when you feel that Forester theft deep in your gut.
So true. So true.
Yes.
That one hurt.
It did hurt. Much more can be said on that. But
yeah.
Yes, you're a Guitar Geek when. Next one comes from Michael S. You're a Guitar Geek when you look forward to visiting your guitarsenal at your family's house more than the visit of your family. Not me. But that is a possible downside of having multiple arsenals.
True.
Yeah. And last one comes from Mike S. You're a Guitar Geek when you realize you've had a flat pick in your mouth an hour after you put your guitar down. That's a good one. I've
been very guilty of that. That is and so true. Because it's just kind of like it's there. That's incredible.
Yeah, well, there has been that moment, even in my own life, where you either go to ask somebody for a pick if they have one or you have one, and it's just all bumpy from being chewed on.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you can if you want.
You're like, well, here, it's really gross. It's like borrowing a toothbrush. Like, yeah, sure, you can use mine.
So, Tony, that is this week's Your Guitar Geek wins.
Well, I have one.
I know, and that's what I wanted to say. Speaking of Guitar Geeks,
yes.
You want to share...
I'm going to say this. This was a little bit of an unplanned segment portion. Well, you'll find out here why. You know you're a guitar geek when you want an album to come out so bad because you love the music. You want somebody to produce an album because you absolutely love the music.
An acoustic album.
An acoustic album.
To be specific.
An acoustic instrumental album.
Yes.
And this particular part of the show, this feature, I will say that the person I'm going to be talking about here doesn't really know I'm doing this. So I'm doing this out of purely selfish reasons because I think this album will be incredible because I have factual data to back it up. So let me explain. So Acoustic Tuesday viewers, you may be familiar with Matt Chalka from Eddie's Guitars. He does the Ask Matt segment on Acoustic Tuesday. He's been so generous with his time and his incredible wealth of knowledge and guitar geekiness. He always shares that with us during his Ask Matt segments. And of course, if you want Matt to answer one of your questions, in the comments below, just put hashtag Ask Matt and go ahead and ask him any guitar question. The guy is literally an endless well of guitar knowledge. And upon further research, Matt is a ridiculously awesome player. A really, truly incredible player. In fact, a couple weeks ago, he was out in Bozeman for the Acoustic Life Festival. Now, keep in mind, mark your calendars for July 31st. We're going to be doing a special edition Acoustic Tuesday episode celebrating the Acoustic Life Festival. You'll have to tune in to find out. It's going to be amazing. But anyways, Matt was here for the Acoustic Life Festival, and we got to spend a full weekend with him. And come to find out, Matt is really an incredible acoustic guitarist. He has this stockpile of instrumental compositions done in alternate tunings, played beautifully. And upon a little bit further digging, and actually some Tony's Acoustic Challenge members brought this up to Noah and I, he has a GoFundMe page that's out there and active because he wants to raise funds to record an album. Now, again, I don't know if Matt would approve of this message. I think he would deep down, but as with most artists, I don't think he wants to come across as boastful. Is that accurate?
Sure.
No,
yeah,
I don't think there's a boastful bone in Matt's body.
Nope. No, he's genuinely humble.
Yeah, and I think as an artist, artists are the worst self-promoters. So I wanted to step in, and again, for selfish reasons, I wanted to make you aware of Matt's GoFundMe page. If you want to check it out directly, go to gofundme.com/Matthew Chalka, MattheWchulka. He's currently got a campaign going. His goal is $2,500 so that he can record these tunes that are amazing. And he's at 1,900 at the time of this filming. So I think with a little Acoustic Tuesday love, if the family could get together and help Matt out, I think we could push it. I think we could push him to record this album and release it. So cheers to Matt for making amazing music, and cheers to all you Acoustic Tuesday viewers for, if you choose to help him out, great. If you're like, I can't do it right now, just spread the word. Share it with other guitar geeks that you think would want to contribute or would want this album to come to life. And I think we'll all be very pleased when it comes out, because I heard Matt actually playing Antoine Dufour's guitar, and I was like, just stopped in my tracks. I was like, why don't I have your album? And Matt's like, well, it's not made yet.
Yeah.
So we can all band together and help out. Did I miss anything, Noah?
No, that was really cool, though, of you saying, yes, we saw Matt playing Antoine's guitar, and Antoine actually played Matt's guitar.
Yeah.
Right? But then I want to play Antoine's guitar, so Matt then hands it over to me, and unbeknownst to me, it's like in a different tuning. And so where Matt just took Antoine's alternately tuned guitar and played this magical piece, he hands it over to me, and I'm just like, bling, blong, bling, blong,
yeah.
bling. Cool.
That did happen, and I witnessed that as well. It was pretty. That was a neat moment.
So all that is to say, I thought Matt was cool before.
Yeah.
But then after him handing me that alternately tuned guitar, which I don't even think I knew what that alternate tuning was.
Yeah.
I was even more blown away.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
That he had written a song already in that alternate tuning that Antoine had on his guitar. It
was pretty mind blowing. So cheers to Matt, and Matt, if you're mad about me bringing that up, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry again for selfish reasons. Okay. We have more guitar geekiness.
Yes, we
do. We've got an epic capo battle that's just, we're on the brink of getting into it. And I'm excited because these are two very incredible capos. They're sitting right next to me. But before we go there, I've been notified that we've got two guitarsenals that we should probably share, because that is really the pinnacle of guitar geekiness. Of course, the highest pinnacle is tuning into the Acoustic Tuesday show, which you're already doing. But sharing your guitarsenal, that's a whole nother level of guitar geekiness. Now, I've got two guitarsenals here. The first one comes from Brett W. in Boulder, Colorado. Now, Brett included some very guitar geeky details in his guitarsenal. He's got a ton of guitars, and a lot of them he modified himself. So he's kind of like he's a guitar hot rodder, I would say, Brett W. is. But I'm gonna just go through the names of the guitars. Now, if you want to do a deep dive on his collection, I post all the guitarsenals at acousticlife.tv. Just go to acousticlife.tv and check out guitar collections. You'll see every guitarsenal ever featured on Acoustic Tuesday in nitty-gritty, minute detail. So, what does Brett W. have? Well, the top row, he's got a Taylor T5C1, a Guild A150, a Gibson ES150 from 1954, a Martin OM14 fret, a National Guitars NRP Polychrome, a Yairi parlor guitar, a National Guitars NRP M14. Laying down on the couch is a Gibson Les Paul Standard from 2007, and then a Edwards Les Paul copy. That's from the early 2000s, so it was made in Japan. The bottom row, we've got a 2007 Fender Strat, a Gibson SG Faded from 2003, an Ibanez AS80, an Eastwood Delta 6, and an Airline Folkstar. Again, there's a lot of references to different pickups and mods that he made, and you can find about all of those. You can find out about all of those at acousticlife.tv if you go to the guitar collections, specifically episode 47. Next up, we've got a guitarsenal from Caroline F. from Fairfield, California. Now, 3 cheers to Caroline for getting the dogs to pose in this picture. I think that is alone a feat. Because if they're anything like my dogs, you get one sitting down, the next one wanders off, and then when you get that one, the other one wanders off. So I know it's hard. So Caroline, kudos to you for getting the dogs in there. Her guitarsenal consists of the following, starting in the top left: Breedlove with Babinga back and sides, a Martin 00018E, a Breedlove with Mahogany back and sides, and then on the bottom, starting at the left, a Seagull Dreadnought with Brazilian Rosewood. That sounds awesome. And a custom classical made by the great Ronald Bushman, a luthier I have never heard of, but I certainly am going to do a little bit of research on. And then, of course, we've got to name the dogs here. We've got Lady Anne to Caroline's right, and she says, "Who is a rascal?" And to Caroline's left is the gentle giant, Lil Buddy. And she also says, "Thanks to Tony and the gang for bringing the joy of guitar back to my life, loving every minute of the ride." And with that, I want to thank both Brett and Caroline for sharing your guitarsenals with us. And of course, if you want your guitarsenal featured on a future episode of Acoustic Tuesday, please submit it. It's super easy to do, 3 simple steps. Go to acousticlife.tv, click submit, and you have to go ahead and enter your picture of your guitarsenal to be featured on an Acoustic Tuesday episode. But Tony, what are those 3 steps? Well, it's super easy. You got to get the guitarsenal shirt. There's a link right beneath this episode of Acoustic Tuesday. Go ahead and order your favorite color and size. Put that shirt on and take a picture with all of your instruments. You can include dogs, family members, whomever is involved in your guitar journey. Please include them in your guitarsenal picture. Once you have that picture, just go to acousticlife.tv, click submit, and you'll see right where to submit your picture of your guitarsenal so you can be featured on a future episode of Acoustic Tuesday. And I gotta tell you, the submissions keep coming in. So if you have not done so yet, please submit your guitarsenal. I think I've got 3 left. We had a big surge of submissions, and now I'm ready for another surge, because seeing your guitar collections is amazing, and it really helps fuel the Guitar Geek fire. I gotta be honest. It's really, really cool. So yeah, please submit your guitarsenal, and again, you can do all of that at acousticlife.tv. And a real quick message about acousticlife.tv. Remember, any purchase that you make from any of those links included on any of the reviews or anything that I talk about, all of those proceeds go to the Guitars for Vets nonprofit program. So just by being a guitar geek and helping guitar geeks unite, you are actually helping a program that spreads the healing power of music and further unites and creates more guitar geeks. Pretty awesome. Just by being a guitar geek, you can help out an absolute ton. All right, Noah, are you ready for this battle?
Yeah.
I feel like we need one of those dinger bells, like tinking. Ladies and gentlemen, in this corner. All right.
Yeah, well, it's not so much of a battle.
It's not a battle.
It's not a battle.
So here's Noah and I might actually go back and forth a little bit on this particular item because it created quite a discussion between the two of us. So it's not a battle, but I found myself comparing one capo that was new to me to a capo that I was very familiar with. Well, what capos are you talking about, Tony? Please let the cat out of the bag. Well, the very kind folks at G7 sent me their brand new Heritage capo, which is a yoke style capo. And my familiarity with yoke style capos really started with Elliott capos, made by Scott Elliott. And I kept, as I was putting the G7 Heritage capo through its paces, I kept comparing it to the Elliott capo because it was of a very similar style. And in fact, these two capos are of a very similar price range. So I think in the discussion, it's very valid to bring up both capos. Now, I'm going to compare the two a little bit later, but I want to first just focus on the G7th, what I noticed, and I have a cool little video I want you guys to check out as well. So again, this is the G7th Heritage capo. It comes in two different widths. It comes in the standard width for, think 1 and 11/16, and then it comes in a wider width for guitars with a little bit wider nut widths. And it's very elegantly made. I mean, even from the packaging, it comes in a really nice gift box, and it includes a polishing cloth and a really nice kind of leather carrying pouch, which I thought was very, very cool. But the capo itself functions great. I've been really impressed with it, and to get kind of a close-up view on how it works and some of the cool technology that they've incorporated into this capo, I want to hand it over to Nick Campling. Nick Campling is the owner of G7th Capos, and he has quite a bit of factoids on the new G7th Heritage. So without further ado, here's Nick Campling from G7th Capos.
Hi, here at G7th we're constantly looking to improve our capos. So we've been asking ourselves two questions. 1. What is the #1 problem that players suffer when using capos? And 2. How can we solve it? After spending a lot of time thinking about these questions, talking to guitarists and banjo players all over the world, amateurs and professionals, then experimenting and refining our ideas, we are very proud to bring you the new Heritage capo. The Heritage is a yoke-style capo made from hand-polished stainless steel with a secure latching top bar, knurled tension adjustment knob, silicone neck pad and silicone side guards to protect your instrument's neck from metal to wood contact. Like all yoke capos, it stores perfectly behind the nut, meaning you never really have to take the capo off your guitar or banjo. It also looks stunningly beautiful, with both traditional style and the sleek modern curves you'd expect from a G7th capo. The Heritage capo is available for the guitar and for banjo in standard and wide neck widths, and in a hand-polished stainless steel finish with or without engraving. So that's the capo. But what about the #1 issue when using a capo? From our conversations with you, it's definitely the problems caused from too much tension bending strings sharp or not enough tension that causes string buzz. The fact is that every guitar neck is different. Fretboard radius, string heights, fret height, nut slots, bridge, saddle, this all creates a mismatch between the capo radius and the true radius over the strings, and this affects the tension you need for the capo to work perfectly. So we wanted to design one capo that would adapt to all of these differences on any fret on your instrument and still work immediately, even if you wanted to swap your guitar or banjo and use the same capo on a completely different neck. A capo that adapts to fit your instrument rather than a fixed radius capo that forces your instrument to conform to it, producing tuning or buzzing problems. So we are very proud to introduce the first capo with our patented G7th Adaptive Radius Technology, or ART. The ART automatically changes the capo radius to match your guitar or banjo. As you tighten the capo down onto the strings, the ART behind the string pad moves to allow the pad to adapt to the strings as they're fretted. When the last string is fretted, the pad pulls down evenly on all the strings. This allows the minimum force required to fret each string and to be applied so that the strings all fret cleanly and without bending sharp. The adaptive radius technology will adapt to any neck and any fret on it, constantly able to change its radius, infinitely adjusting to match your instrument, giving you unrivaled in-tune and buzz-free capoing. The Heritage Capo. Tradition and innovation working in harmony.
All right, so I wanted you to see that video just so you can get a close-up look of what the Heritage Capo is all about, how it latches, how it goes onto the guitar, and so you could see a close-up view of how that ART, that adaptive radius technology, works. Now, I want to share with you my experience of the Capo, and I'm going to ask Noah to please chime in, because as Noah noticed this morning, I'm a fierce protector of the Elliott Capos. I mean, just to be honest, I'm extremely biased because I've had an Elliott Capo since 2008, the same one. It lives on my Martin HD35, and I absolutely love it. I've had wonderful experience with my Elliott Capo, and I think Scott Elliott does amazing, amazing work. In fact, I've got another one that lives now on my 1935 Singolo 17, Martin Singolo 17. And again, I think these are top-notch premier capos. Here's my experience with the G7th Heritage. This is a damn good capo. I was really, really impressed. So I tried this capo on my Martin HD35, on a Gibson Southern Jumbo, and a Santa Cruz Vintage Southerner. So 3 different guitars, 3 different neck profiles, 2 different radiuses actually. And I was really impressed with the results. I'm talking buzz-free, really, really easy to operate, easy to take on and off, easily stores behind the nut of the guitar. Overall, great operation. And there's a couple things that I want to say that I absolutely do love about the G7th Heritage Capo. The look, it's super sleek. It's really quite sexy looking. I mean, if a capo can be sexy, they did a great job. The second thing that I noticed that I thought was really wonderful attention to detail was that they actually padded the inside of the yoke. You probably saw that in the video. So that as you move the capo, you're not getting any metal on wood contact. It's all padded so that the neck of your instrument is in good hands with this capo. The other thing that I noticed was that ART, that adaptive radius technology, really did work. I was pretty skeptical of it because I thought, you know, usually things that are designed for many different uses do them all just kind of okay. And I thought it performed very well in a number of, again, different situations with different neck profiles. So kudos to the folks at G7 for making a very cool, very classy yoke style capo. Now I do have some concerns, or I should say I'll start with the concerns that I had, and then we can go from there. One of the first things I noticed was like, okay, well, with the Heritage Capo, it's got this really cool, nice silicone rubber pad, right, that goes against the strings and presses them down. I thought, well, what do you do if that wears out? The Elliott Capos, they include an extra piece of that tubing that touches the strings because eventually it does wear out. Well, I thought, well, guys, you know, you missed the boat on this because that pad needs to be replaceable. Well, lo and behold, Noah was a fierce G7th protector, and he was on their website, and he said, actually, they do sell replacement pads with that ART technology. So again, great foresight they call that, foresight on the folks at G7th. Mm-hmm. So that was one of my concerns, but that was very quickly washed away. The second concern of mine, and this is really, I'm nitpicking here, but it's something that I noticed and I wanted to share with everybody, is that upon closing the latch, right, you put the guitar, or the capo on the guitar, and upon closing the latch, there was a little bit of play in the top of the capo because the latch doesn't really go into anything. It just sits on the metal and then the latch kind of keeps it enclosed, but you can kind of hear there's a little play. With the Elliott, there's no play. That latch, once it's closed, goes right down and it is solid. And I think that correlates into really good tone and just a very finely machined capo. And that was one of the things I was concerned about with this. Now Noah What were you saying about that play? Because you kind of were saying, well, what if?
Right. Well, I was just having thoughts of my own, and I had to wonder and ask myself, what if the play is on purpose? You know,
right.
What if it works in conjunction with the this new
the ART,
the radius technology, so that as it forms, you know, there's a little bit of play there, so that there's just room for the guitar itself and the guitar shape to just really settle into the capo. So so it's just a thought I had.
I thought that was super valid. So what I first was concerned about, Noah, was like, well, what if? So that's a question that still hangs in the air. So I would like to, I've done this before on Acoustic Tuesday, and if the folks at G7th happen to be watching or catch this episode, or if any of you share it with the folks at G7th, I would love for them to film just a quick cell phone video and kind of address that issue of the play in the latching part. If that's part of the adaptive radius technology, awesome. If that's a non-issue once the capo's under tension, awesome. I just kind of want clarity, because I would assume other people have that question as well. So yeah, again, folks at G7th, Nick or anybody who's out there listening, please, yeah, if you could send a video and address that, that'd be sweet. And while you're at it, there's another concern I have. And I don't think, by the way, I think these concerns are minute, because I think this is a very fine capo. And one of the other concerns that I had was the fact that, as I'm turning this wheel, it obviously moves the little backing so that it presses against the back of the guitar neck. But I noticed that there's a little nylon insert inside that kind of threading mechanism. And I hadn't seen that before on a yoke style capo. And again, I'm comparing it to the Elliott, which, I mean, there's no play and it's metal on metal, which to me says this has been machined, there's no play, and it means it's gonna last forever. And in my experience with the Elliott capo, again, I've had one since 2008. It's now 2018, and I still use the same exact Elliott capo I've had from the start. And it has not worn out, it has not broken down, and it's just a roadworthy capo. And my concern with the G7th Heritage was, is it roadworthy? Because of that nylon insert, and if that might break down over time. Again, I can't weigh in on that, because I've had the capo for just about 2 weeks, and I've used it as much as I can, but 2 weeks versus 10 years isn't really a fair comparison, and I don't want to jump to any conclusions. But it's just a thought that I had, so if again, the folks at G7th, if you guys are out there listening and want to address that, I would love you to, because I'm just curious. And on that same note of roadworthiness, I will say this, the folks at G7th are probably the best at customer service I've ever seen. A lot of accessory companies are great with customer service. I think G7th is probably setting the bar for all of them. I have heard a couple of different Acoustic Tuesday viewers actually have problems with a capo. One of them had a problem with the Performance 2 capo, just in its functionality. And the other one, I can't remember which capo it was, but there was an issue with it. Well, all the G7 capos have a lifetime warranty. So literally, you just send your capo back to them. I mean, you got to go through the whole returns process and let them know it's coming and whatnot, but they'll send you a brand new capo. So if that's the case and that nylon insert may break down over time, it's probably not an issue because of the lifetime warranty. So again, just some thoughts that I had about the capo. My overall impression of the capo is it's an A+. Is it enough for me to give up my Elliott capo? I don't think so, but the jury's still out, because again, I haven't really put it through any of the rigors of the road that my 10-year-old Elliott capo has gone through. So, but really, hats off to the folks at G7th for making a stunning yoke-style capo that not only looks the part, but does the part very well on a bunch of different guitar fretboard radii. I had to practice the plural of radius. So yeah, again, thanks to the folks at G7th for sending this out for me to check out. This capo comes, again, in a variety of options, not just in terms of widths, but style options as well. You can get it engraved, you can get it customized, you can get it in 18 karat gold, whatever level you want to bling up your capo, you can certainly do that with this. So check this out. If you love that yoke style capo, if you like leaving a capo on your guitar and never forgetting it, these are a great option for you. And of course, if you want to learn more about the G7th Heritage Capo, just go to acousticlife.tv, click on episode number 47. In fact, if you want to purchase one, you can do it right there. And again, all those proceeds will go to Guitars for Vets. So yeah, make sure to check those out. And again, thanks to the folks at G7th. All right, we're about wrapped up, Noah, but there's one more item of business I would love for these guitar geeks to do. Do you know what that is?
Well, my guess is a call to share the show.
I actually, that is exactly what it is. And it's almost as if you have a checklist that you're going by over there. I would please encourage all of you guitar geeks to share the show. The whole notion behind Acoustic Tuesday is to get guitar geeks to unite. How do we get more guitar geeks uniting every Tuesday? We share the show. So if you have a guitar geek friend that you jam with, a friend that you just talk guitars with, please share the Acoustic Tuesday show with them. You can send them a link to your favorite show. Send them to acousticlife.tv. There's so much stuff out there that will help guitar geeks unite, and I just want more and more people watching the show. I want more and more guitar geeks uniting because, well, it just makes for super guitar geekiness, which I think is what we're all after. So please share the show with your guitar geek friends. And with that, I'm about ready to wrap up episode 47, but we do have a very important item of business that we have to finish here, and that, of course, is Guitar Geek Trivia. So just to recap your memory, your Guitar Geek Trivia question was this. Which Mississippi Delta blues musician was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the year 1986? Was it A, Leighton Hopkins, B, David Honeyboy Edwards, C, Robert Johnson, or D, Son House? Well, if you answered C, Robert Johnson, you are absolutely correct. Johnson was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the year 1986. His place in the Hall of Fame was solidified due to his early influence on rock and roll. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame also cited 4 of Robert Johnson's songs in its list of 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. Pretty awesome Guitar Geek trivia, and pretty cool that one of the original Mississippi Delta bluesmen holds a place in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I think that's pretty outstanding and very, very guitar geeky. All right, so that pretty much wraps up episode number 47, but quickly, while I still have your attention, let's take a sneak peek into next week and see what's coming up on Acoustic Tuesday. Next week, we're gonna dive into pick experimentation. Yet again, I've got a really cool bunch of picks for you this time. We're gonna get a good dose of the blues. In fact, this is an artist that was recommended that I was very pumped to dig into. And we're going to meet a master craftsman who can make any guitar shine, but not in the way that you think. So I can't wait for you to meet this fella, and I can't wait for you to tune in to next week's Acoustic Tuesday episode. And of course, you can catch Acoustic Tuesday every Tuesday at 10 a.m. here on YouTube. And of course, if you're thinking, well, gosh, it's Wednesday, it's Thursday, it's Friday, what do I do? It's not Acoustic Tuesday yet. Don't worry. We've thought about that already. Just go to acousticlife.tv. You can do a deep dive on anything that I check out here on the show or that I review. There's extra videos, extra links, write-ups, the whole deal. There's even some hidden gems and Easter eggs for you to find at acousticlife.tv. So make sure to check that out in between Tuesdays. But until next Acoustic Tuesday, Noah and I wish you the best possible week, an acoustic-infused week, and cheers to you, Guitar Geek. We'll see you next Tuesday on Acoustic Tuesday.